we're all built in with this survival instinct called the fight or flight mode. It was really useful back in the day when we had to fight off animals and fleet for our own survival. But imagine if we stepped into that mode every time we got a call from our boss or an email from our client. Imagine how destructive that is to our system, to constantly be in a state of an emergency, as if we're scared, stressed, disturbed, aggressive. Wouldn't that change you into a pretty negative and disturbed person? So that's what's happening in our day and age because we don't understand how to manage our stress and rewire our brain. The most effective stress management tool that's built right into you is breathing correctly. And why that's so effective is because breathing correctly takes you into a parasympathetic state of mind instead of a sympathetic state. So our nervous system is actually supposed to calm us down, heal, restore, and allow us to respond to situations calmly, as opposed to fighting or flighting like our sympathetic nervous system. So let's go over how we can breathe correctly and allow the breath to make us control our mind and our emotions so that we are not getting into a state of overstress and anxiety, but we're able to relax and think calmly. So there are 5 different measures of correct breathing. The first thing is breathing through our nostrils and not through the mouth. The nostrils purify and humidify the air before it enters our body. And it is the only way we can breathe truly deeply and breathe in so that it activates our parasympathetic nervous system. And in yoga, we call it our Ida and Pingala nadi, which are also connected to our left and right brain. The second thing is making sure we're breathing into the nostril and through down to the depths of our lungs. That's where the diaphragm and belly is located. And this is where the maximum number of cells and blood resides, which are required to absorb oxygen. If we're breathing shallow, like when we're often stressed and we feel like we can't breathe, we're only breathing through our chest and shoulders, and the oxygen isn't even reaching the depths of our lungs. Therefore, we're building the toxicity in our system. Another thing is to make sure that we're inhaling as we inflate the stomach and we're exhaling as we contract the stomach and not in the reverse. Because if you're doing it in the reverse, then your body movement is not facilitating the breath. If your diaphragm is not expanding when you inhale, then you're basically counteracting the inhalation and the respiration. The last thing is to make sure that you're breathing out. Notice when you're really tense, you begin to hold your breath. You keep breathing in because you know you need oxygen, but you forget to breathe out. Breathing out is actually even more important than breathing in because carbon dioxide are the reason, the source that we develop diseases. All psychosomatic illnesses are due to excess toxicity in our system, and that is due to a buildup of carbon dioxide. So in yoga, we always check that we're exhaling even longer than we're inhaling. So we're going to put all these tips into practice as we start to do yogic breathing. And just remember one last thing. Breath doesn't come from forceful mechanical manipulation of the muscles. You have to relax because it's those signals intuitively in your body that you can breathe deeply. And there's a signal in your brain that's triggered with the right knowledge, and it's not something that you can force. So let's put all these tests into implementation and begin by taking our right hand and putting it on our belly and taking our left hand, putting it on the chest. Now we're going to make sure that our right hand feels the movement of the stomach inflate and deflate, but our left hand shouldn't move at all. You should also make sure that the lower ribs are moving up and down. That's the base of the lobes of our lungs, and that's going to make sure that we're breathing to our fullest capacity. So if you're with me, you can start to keep your back straight and align your neck, shoulders, and head in one line. Tilt your pelvis forward so that the base of your spine is also erect. Relax and close your eyes and follow my instructions. Just bring the awareness to the present moment and breathe normally as you would naturally. As you calm down and the awareness of your breath sharpens, you can slowly direct the air down into your stomach. Become aware of the breath coming in through the nostrils and expanding the belly. Become aware of the breath exiting your nostrils as your belly contracts. Continue to slow down your breathing rate, thereby slowing down your heart rate and reducing your blood pressure. Remember that the quality of the breath is more important than the quantity. Now I'm going to add in counts so that we can check that our inhalation is only 4 seconds, but our exhalation is 50% more, 6 seconds long. So take a deep breath through the nostrils and expand your chest and belly and begin to listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, contract the belly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slowly inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Completely exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last round, give it your best. 1, 2, 3, 4 for a complete inhalation. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Release all the air expelling from the nostrils. And finally, relax. Go back to natural breathing. Release your hands on your knees and take a few seconds with your eyes closed to feel the changes in your body. Feeling present and fresh. Feeling nourished and awake. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. I hope you felt the relaxing effect of yogic breathing. And remember that if it didn't happen the first round, that's absolutely fine. It takes practice to perfect anything in yoga or life. So make sure that you keep practicing it, and you can always check the sign of a good practice is by feeling happy, awake, and free. Breath is instantly going to take you into a happy place. So if you're feeling a little disturbed or short of breath, it could just be that something went wrong. But make sure you keep going. Now let's move on to our first practice of pranayama. Prana is basically the life force that gives vitality to our whole brain and body. And ayama means extension or control. We're going to manipulate the breath so that we can control the mind. The slower and more controlled our breath, the more we can reduce the number of thoughts and come into a feeling mode of feeling peaceful and powerful. The first practice we're going to be doing is called Nadi Shuddhi, or alternate nostril breathing. It's also known as Anulom Vilom. This is a breath work practice that balances both sides of your brain. So oftentimes throughout the day, we're only active in our left brain because we're overly working and stimulated our logical side of the brain. And some other times we're in a playful, creative mode and our right brain is stimulated. We want to stimulate the right brain in our yoga practice, but beyond only that, we want to be able to stimulate both sides of the brain simultaneously. And that's the objective of alternate nostril breathing. And you can check that right now, because a sign of your left and right brain activation is through your nostril breath dominance. So take your finger and place it under your nostrils and check which nostril has more air breathing through it. If your left nostril is more dominant, it actually correlates with your right brain. If your right nostril is more dominant, it means your left brain's more active. Now it's time for an alternate nostril breathing. We're going to be taking our right hand into Nasagra Mudra with our first two fingers tucked in and our last two fingers out. Your thumb is going to block your right nostril for position A. For position B, your last two fingers will close the left nostril as you breathe through the right nostril. We're going to be alternating between position A and B according to my instructions. You can keep your eyes closed or open in the beginning if you'd like to watch. Take your right hand and place the thumb in the right nostril. Let's begin by inhaling from the left nostril. Now come into position B with your last two fingers closing your left nostril and exhale. Now inhale on the same side. And return to position A. Exhale. Inhale. Position B. Exhale. Inhale. 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 And the last round, we'll take position A and exhale from the left nostril. Relax your right palm back down onto the knee and release the mudras. How does that feel? Do you feel like you can think more clearly? Do you feel like the world looks a little bit differently than it did a few moments ago? Then that's a sign of effective practice. That was one round of Nadi Shuddhi, and you can continue practicing this for another 3 to 5 rounds. That should take you about 20 minutes. Now, we're going to move on to the next practice called Kapalabhati. This is an energizing pranayama that increases the oxygen flow in your brain. I like to call it a shot of espresso because it's a way to get instant energy in your skull, which is why it's called Kapal, meaning skull, and Bhati, meaning shining. It brings a glow to your face and it it actually increases your energy levels. So it's a great way to wake up in the morning. This is a dynamic style of breathing, and it's very important that we start off slow when we're just learning how to do it. Don't forget the basics of all of the breath work that we're doing are what we spoke about in the beginning of the session. Making sure you're breathing through the belly, making sure your breath is deep, making sure you're breathing through the nostrils. This will always be the foundation of every pranayama. And in order for you to add on more tips and tricks, it's remember not to forget your foundation of breath. So Kapalabhati is going to be something we do for 45 seconds. That's it. But in that amount of time, you're going to be working every single second. When we exhale, we're going to expel the air from the nose. And when we exhale, as we've learned already, that there's a contraction in the stomach. As you squeeze your abdominal muscles, the air is expelled out of your nose. We're going to be doing this successively for about 30 to 45 strokes. That's about 1 stroke per second. Remember to go slow in the beginning, and especially if it's your first time, you should not be experiencing any jerky movements in the body, but only flapping of the stomach. You should not be experiencing pain in any part of the body, and if you do that, you need to slow down. And make sure you're not forcing this, but it's coming from inside of you, an internal signal from the brain to your muscles that you must exhale. That's very important, and that happens only when you're relaxed. So don't be overcritical. When you first do your round, we're all here to make mistakes, learn and grow and do better. So we're going to be doing 3 rounds, so you have 3 tries to get it perfectly. So let's begin with our left hand in Gnana Mudra. Keep your spine straight. And in case you have trouble in this seating position, you can also sit in Vajrasana, which is with your knees together on top of your ankles. But it's not advised if you have any ankle or knee injury. Coming back into Sukhasana, we're going to take our right hand to start with on the stomach so that we can check that we're exhaling by squeezing at the right time. We're going to close our eyes and we're going to start with a deep inhalation, after which we will only exhale for 45 seconds. The inhalation in between the exhalations is passive and natural, and you don't need to consciously do it. Let's begin. Inhale deeply and begin. Slow down the pace and gently end the practice. With your eyes still closed, sit in stillness for a few moments, observing the changes in your mind. Take this moment to meditate. Feel the energy and prana flowing through the brain and through the fingertips, the tingling sensation all the way down to your toes. Feel the freshness in your mind. Appreciate the feeling of being thoughtless and completely in the present moment. These are all beautiful effects of Kapalabhati. Feeling the warmth inside your chest, and feeling the energy, the activation of your brain. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed that shot of coffee. Let's go for another 2 rounds. Close your eyes. If you'd like to, keep your hand on your stomach. Take a deep inhalation and let's begin. Slowing down. Restoring natural, normal breath. Meditating for a few moments. How do you feel right now? Do you feel different? Do you feel good? Do you feel happy? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel energized? Do you feel balanced? All very valid questions to ask yourself so that you can increase your self-awareness and notice the effects of this practice, so that you can also measure how effective it is in transforming your state of mind. Let's get ready for the final round. Closing your eyes, take a deep inhalation. Slowing down. Stopping the practice. Relaxing to normal, natural breathing. Sitting in stillness, perhaps thoughtless. Perhaps you feel like an abode of bliss, peace, and warmth. Relish this moment. Notice any sensations occurring in your body. Observe it. Start to detach from the physical sensations. And watch it like a third party. Increasing your self-awareness and identifying less with the body, but more with the energy, the peace and stillness. As we complete our practice, we'll draw the palms together and chant Om Shanti. Please join me as we inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. generating heat between your palms and placing this energy into yourself, absorbing the beautiful vibrations which we've just created back into your aura, giving yourself a nice hug. Drawing your palms together once again and bowing down to the divinity within yourself. Namaste.